Hey, you guys, welcome to Hype Girls episode 2. We have Teresa and Amy on tonight. Heather could not be with us. We are definitely missing her, but we just wanted to kind of come and touch base about a lot of things that were going on in Mississippi and cannabis today. So some interesting things kind of happened. You guys, Blackwell went on Super Talk. Did you guys get to catch the interview?
Oh yeah, no, that was great. Oh my gosh, he cracked me up so hard, especially when he's like, oh, the pot shops, and he's like, they're dispensaries, they're not called pot shops. I was so proud of Blackwell. Like, I was like, oh.
Yeah, me too, because that was the first thing I wanted to do was correct Gallo. Excuse me.
To hear him actually pull out the statistic about alcohol and how many people it kills a year versus how many cannabis is killed ever, and it's zero. Like, to hear him actually say these things is just a complete 180 from where he was. It's incredible education, and it's all because everybody reached out. It was a group effort to reach out and push information.
Oh man, the number of people and how they came together, like, it has really changed the entire dynamic. And I don't care for whatever reason it is. I'm just glad that it's there. Like, let's just not even jinx it. Let's enjoy the moment. Like, that's where I'm at with this situation, really.
Yep. Yeah, that home grow option, when that became like, what? Like, wow.
Yeah,
like, let's see. Now, of course, until we have the bill like in our hands, but
it's hard to say I didn't see it coming, because I knew the conversations that were being had. But I kept hearing all the negativity and people being like, oh, they're never gonna do this. They're like, oh yes they are.
And then he said it and it became real, and it's not just conversation.
Nope, not anymore. Not just rumors.
It's actually happening. It's real.
And because like for the last few weeks, it's like anytime you mention homegrown, people just kind of look at you like, okay, sure. And we're like, but wait, there's more.
And you don't want to be like, you don't want to give false hope, because you don't know. You don't know if it's going to end up there. You don't know if you convinced them. You don't know if you had enough conversation. You don't know any of that stuff.
No.
So you don't want to give false hope, but at the same time, you're going to be like, you know what, you should push for homegrown. Why don't you tell them that you want the homegrown? Like,
yes.
But man, how incredible though to hear it, to finally wow, I'm like almost champion, like a champion against Gallo about it. Like, wow. Like, that was incredible to watch. For sure.
I feel like he was really like, you know what? Like, he just was saying, you know what, let's not be disrespectful of this.
Yeah.
Let's talk about this. And like, his professionalism and how he handled all that. Like, we all know it was a jab to a certain extent. I mean, we were just like, oh, but he didn't, because he did it in such a tasteful way.
That's probably one of my favorite qualities about Blackwell, is his ability to do that. Like, it's kind of, I'm jealous of it, because he can do it with the best. I don't know if it's a politician thing or what, but he really, I've always, he's smooth.
No, he's whenever I got to talk to him, he was really firm on certain things, and after further conversation, he kind of loosens up a little bit. But he's not one of those guys that tells you what you want to hear right off the bat, because whenever I first met him, he was very against a lot of things, and not for his
everything.
Well, no, not entirely everything. And it wasn't necessarily that he was against it. He just didn't feel like he could convince others differently, because he didn't have the knowledge to argue it. And when you don't have the knowledge to argue something, then you just assume that, well, this guy's smarter than me, so he must have more knowledge. That's really what it was. Because when I was saying things, he's like, how do you know this information? Why don't other people know this information? And I'm like, well, I've been in this for a while. Like, I am crazy nerdy, and I read stuff that most people wouldn't read.
Yeah.
And he's like, is this fact? And I was like, no. And so when I explained it to him in like a pharmacological sense, I totally said that wrong. But compared it to pharmaceuticals, that registers a lot easier with people sometimes, because people are smart in different areas. And whenever we say they're not educated, it's not saying they're stupid. It's saying they've never worked in cannabis. And if you've never worked in cannabis, you've never researched it, then how are you going to know a lot of these things? So
exactly. If you've never lived in a legal state, most of the time they're reason people want to talk to me is that I lived and worked in 2 states. I commuted across the line, and both states had medical and both states went recreational. So I've watched the programs. I've watched them in real time. I've lived them.
Yeah.
I've used them, and that's the perspective that they didn't get to have. They can't go move off for a decade before this law comes through. This bill needs to happen. They have to talk to people who were cannabis refugees, who left this state, who used healthcare here, used healthcare somewhere else, and then came back and utilized the healthcare system here again. It's a perspective that's something they cannot read on the internet. They won't understand it completely as hearing someone's story and their journey and what they gave up. And those are the impactful things, the patient stories that made these top legislators that were so influential in getting this bill to come through. And they're the names that we hear all the time, Yancey, Blackwell, there's so many that have been actually instrumental in getting this done.
Mm-hmm.
Wiggins, he was really involved too. Hey, no, listen, Bethany, now that you say
Delano's a great advocate.
Oh, absolutely. No, Bethany, now that you say
Wonderful.
that, I want to bring up something else, because this is another thing, is on the other interview, Senator Blackwell gave credit to the We Are the 74. So,
Yeah, you did.
and why is that? Because, you were actively involved in communicating with legislators, and, I have to point this out, and I have to brag a little bit, because I remember, early on when we first met, we started working together, and you were just this really, Bethany was, oh my God, you guys, I just don't have as much experience, but I'm willing to work. I'm willing to do whatever it takes, and she just was the sweetest thing ever. Sorry, that's my best Bethany impersonation. But no, really. And then I was just like,
I love it.
and I looked and I thought, girl, don't play. Don't play. Because I see and I saw that when you see the passion in someone and the willingness and all of the drive that it takes to continue and push through, because you do get a lot of pushback. A lot of people want to fight against you, or they think you don't know what you're doing, or I like to call it getting mansplained, because it happens to me all the time. I get
it happens.
but no, that's the truth. But you carried on and you pushed through, and Amy, holy moly.
Oh God,
I can't bring on Bethany that bag
so much.
when she spoke at the Capitol, and she just kept saying FDA approved drugs.
I love that. It was just so great. Like
It's
right
the truth.
We had just seen that doctor go on there, and she's just like, well, cannabis is not FDA approved. And was like, it's not FDA approved. And then she's like, an FDA approved drug caused this. And this FDA drug did not work. I mean, I don't remember the exact words, but y'all get the gist of it. Like,
yeah.
I am so happy.
It's been incredible 3 months. It's incredible.
I love it. You
I
guys
still I
I
get so excited every time I talk about Amy hitting high times. Like for any cannabis fan, like high times is like, what? You got high times.
Y'all know my 6-year-old says that I'm worldwide famous because I was in High Times, and it is available through the world. So he tells me all the time, Mommy, you are worldwide famous. I'm like, no, son.
You are. You are. You're saving patients every day in the state, and we're taking notice. You're famous to us.
Yeah.
Well, that's the whole goal for all of us. And I think that's really become evident, and you can see that because as I said one day this week in the 74, like when your life is on the line, you don't walk away. And that's the black and white of it. You can't walk away. This is life and death for a lot of families. And they don't have the ability to pick up and move. If we all did, there'd be nobody left in this damn state. Let's be real.
We don't need to, though. Well, y'all don't need to. We don't need to. I don't need to either. We don't need to. This is your land. This is your rights. These are your freedoms. This is your health. Like, stand your ground.
You're damn right. We're going to stand it.
Look what you guys have done. Look what you guys have done. Just look at your state. Look at the change. Look at the people coming together. Watch the interview with Senator Blackwell, and look.
We have some of the most educated
to the plant.
Yes, and we have the most educated legislators on medical cannabis now in the country, I think.
I
They
do
have been
too.
devoting themselves to it. And literally, we can brag that I think we have the most devoted legislators who have devoted so much time to studying the ECS, how it operates. It's been incredible
Absolutely.
to behold, and the
Just
questions that
the,
they've
the
had.
other states that they reached out to come and talk to them
Yeah.
and answer their questions, to be like, and then like, okay, I've got to brag too.
And that
because
was you,
my
Miss.
representative, he's was
Yeah.
not my representative. He's my representative because I take ownership, not because he's in my district. Like, no, Cindy Rose, my representative. I've got to give her props. She's awesome too. So I'm not downplaying her, but Representative Fatgetter to go and be on a Zoom in Mississippi and be like, I know that guy. And then like text him after. I was like, you did so good. Like, I'm so proud. Like, I felt like his mom, I was like, I recorded it and I shared it on Facebook. Like, I
But
was so
you did a lot of that work too. Like you were
Yes, you
the like
did.
instrumental and integral to those pieces fitting together.
Oh,
You
dude,
helped.
I just motivate y'all to be who you are, and that is a big issue. Is I
But
see
it was
you.
incredible
You
to
gave
have
us
that
the
advice of
tools.
someone who had been exactly, because you had been fighting for this against your legislators and for so long. And here we go on this massive fight that none of us, I mean, this is the first time 74%. That's like a huge number. And so many people of all walks of life came out for this.
Oh my God, the diversity of people at the first rally.
Yeah.
How moving was that? Were you guys moved?
Oh yeah, incredible.
Or have so many,
incredible.
One of the best holding the flag and me standing in front of the Capitol. Like, oh my God, I was in activist heaven, I guess is what you call it, is when you work so hard.
Absolutely.
You see people coming together and they're all believing in the same thing. Like, what an empowering moment.
It does. It gives you fuel. It gives you fuel to fight and keep on. It's like, there's other people out there fighting, but to see all those people together, like you said, every walk of life, from, it didn't matter, everybody from young to old, all coming together for this. Never happens to have this much agreement on an issue. This is the most nonpartisan issue I think our state has ever seen. And like Bethany said, I think our legislators now are probably the most educated cannabis legislators.
They're going to learn today.
Like at the end, I kind of want to print out every
Hispanic coming out of me. Did y'all hear that Hispanic coming out of me is like the Oklahoma Mexican thing? Like, it's true. Like every now and then I'll be like, y'all, I was talking to this fella.
It's so cute.
No, I love y'all. Like the little Southern thing. It makes y'all seem so innocent. Like you could be saying the meanest thing and then you just say it in your accent and you're just like,
oh, bless your heart. Right on cue.
Oh, that's precious. Like I'm getting cussed out by Bethany and I'm like,
but it's so cute. Yeah, people usually, if I end up slipping a swear word, it's usually just like, oh, that's so adorable. And I'm like, they're really mad. Nobody believes it. So I just stay happy all the time.
Yes.
But yeah, we're at the finish line, y'all. All it is now is a special session. Like we really have made it that far already in 3 months. I expected such a long battle.
It has.
I mean, I really did expect a long battle.
A lot of the activists that have been doing this didn't start at the Supreme Court decision. And I know back in November, when we got the results, I kept saying over and over again, this is not the finish line. This is a place to rest. The work is not done. And I had no idea that the Supreme Court decision was going to go that way. I had no idea. But it's true. Like this is just, and it's going to be a constant evolution, and that's the beautiful thing is it's not done. When this bill comes out is not the end all say all. We can still add things. We can still take things away and change them as we need to. And I think that's just beautiful that we wouldn't have had if we had got 65. Everything would have had to go to a vote. Every change would have had to go to a vote. It would have really been a pain in the butt.
Listen, you wouldn't have home grow
Oh,
potentially.
yeah,
So you guys are going to have home grow. Fight for the home grow.
exactly.
Fight for the home grow, because you're going
Always.
to have patients
No,
and
absolutely. She's right.
especially your critical ones that have to use large amounts. Like that can get expensive.
Yes.
Well, let's also point out that not only did our legislators learn, but they taught us a lot of things. They took a lot of time out of their day to teach us about legislative processes and different things like that, and how they were working with other people and you name it. And we all learned from each other. 74 as an organization was able to mediate so many different times between the people and legislators. And it really took a sour situation in the beginning and was able to turn it around. Now, obviously, until we have the bill in our hand, we are just hopeful that this is our legislators trying to do the right thing. Now they're planning on fixing the congressional district problem in the regular session starting in January. But until that district situation, they're simultaneously using both 4 and 5 districts right now for different things. So until that is corrected, we have a big problem. But this is them trying to say, you know what, there was a big problem. We're going to fix it. We're going to come through with this great bill. We're going to try to do right by the people. We're going to learn. We're going to help teach you guys what you need to learn on your side as voters. And you're going to teach us about why you voted for this in the first place. And I mean, there were a handful.
Need to watch. The people need to watch. When the people do not watch, the wrong people get their way. Okay.
Absolutely.
People think they're going against the people, where there are some people that were for that. There need to be more for this and there more of that. Otherwise, the ones that are more vocal get their way.
Yeah.
Be involved. Use your voice.
And it has. I have learned so much, you guys. Like, you think you learned stuff in school about the government? You don't know shit. You don't know shit. I had no idea about half of this stuff. I know way more than I ever cared to know. But it has been highly enlightening because it lets you see how long some things really take. And it's not just a snap decision. It's, oh, we got to do this. We're on our 13th or 14th version of this bill. Like, that is a lot of versions. That's a lot of work.
That's a lot of people.
Whoever it is.
How many people want to go in there and be like, well, why did you put and instead of that? I think you need to put and, just because people want to put their 2 cents in sometimes, you know? Yep. I know. It's so hard. It's so hard because you want to listen to everyone and then you're just like,
you do.
Okay,
and there's going to be stuff in there.
We cannot give people bunny rabbits with the amounts of weed. Like, that's just not going to happen. Like, somebody always wants to put something so bizarre in there. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And every single bill, not just about cannabis, will always have stuff that is placed in there just to be negotiated out for people like that just want to cause a hard time, that just want to fight against this bill. So there's things in there that they can easily negotiate out while still honoring a vote, because like Amy said, you can always come back later and fix different things. The most important thing, and with every legislator I've talked to is in a complete 100% agreement with, is that patients need it now. They need it right now. Yes. They deserve it. They voted for it. They should have it already. And everyone that I've talked to is in full agreement with that. And so whatever they're having to go through and whatever they're having to learn to fix that, they're doing it. And so we're giving them the time to do it. And wow, with the things that are coming out now, look at how they're changing it. This is wonderful. Now, I know people are still freaking out over the tax thing, which 65 had taxes in it too, guys. Nobody freak out yet. We don't know what the taxes are going to be.
But if they're going to tax it, keep the home grow. Fight the home grow. Because for those that can't afford the taxes, they can grow their own.
Exactly. Yes. It's going to be the biggest, I think, the biggest thing for, I mean, Mississippi, we've talked about this before, I believe, on the last show. And we were talking about how we were so poverty stricken. And so when you can offer home grow and people can actually get off opiates and stuff and grow their own medicine in their own, wow. Talk about taking
Did you guys ever think Mississippi would have a home grow? Did you guys ever think that would even be a thought? I'm sorry, I saw
No.
everybody was like, these guys
Oh,
don't want
and can we talk about how Gallo said, "Oh, who's going to regulate? Like, who's going to go in their house and make sure? Who's going to go in their house and make sure? Excuse me, where are the Tylenol police? Because I can buy that over the counter. My kid can take 10 of those and die. Nobody's coming here counting how many Tylenol I got.
That
let's
was
go
one of
back
my
to, let's go back to guns.
Guns?
yes.
Yeah, I don't have somebody getting here checking that all my stuff is set
All
up
my
with my
guns are
guns
stored away.
correctly.
That your kid, like
Like,
your
come
kid has a higher
on.
chance of shooting themselves than of overdosing on cannabis.
What if I leave my car keys on the table instead of putting them up on the mantle and my kid gets in my car? Like, if things happen, like, this is a plant. What are they going to do? Dig all the soil out and play with it and strew it everywhere? What are they going to do?
And it's not even
Are they going to
psychoactive
get in
once
there
you
and hang
heat
it
it
up and
up.
dry it, roll it up and smoke it
Listen.
before you get home from the grocery store?
Listen, let's take this to a science level, okay? If
Thank you,
cannabis does
Teresa.
not decarboxylize, it's not heated up for a certain time and temperature, then is non-psychoactive. THCA's absorption is low. Your kid isn't going to get high off of eating raw weed.
Science,
They're more likely
bitches.
to eat the soil. Kids eat dirt all the time.
I love
And
it.
let's talk about the pesticides that people put on their plants outside in the garden and then have their children out there in the garden walking around in pesticides, helping them pick vegetables. Can we talk about that as a reality? Where are the police that are coming in and trying to keep these people from getting these dirty chemicals in their kids' feet when they're in the garden?
I don't even want to start thinking about the dirts and the chemicals and all of that. Like, I don't need to be chronically Googling things. Like,
No, my
But
favorite. One of my
it's true.
favorite.
It's like there is no. We're adults here. It's a plant. Come on, Gallo.
And that was one of my favorite parts of when Blackwell said personal responsibility. Those are
Thank
two
you.
words that need more time. If we listen to personal responsibility, we wouldn't have near the problems we got right now. If that fell on
Exactly.
us truly, we wouldn't have half the issues we have, period.
Oh, and there
You're
is
worried about the
very
pot
limited
shop.
things. Yeah. our pot- well, it is like, come on, let's be honest. The over-the-counter medications that you have in your home are way more dangerous than any cannabis plant could ever be to your child, ever.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
I have blood work proving that.
Yes.
That is
They're the
100% science as well.
Tylenol's one is
Yeah.
extremely dangerous.
For
If
my
not used
liver,
properly.
I
I
can't
mean,
take Tylenol at all. Like, I have liver disease. I can't take it at all.
Yeah, I can't take Tylenol anymore either. It's on my no-no
but see, I mean,
list.
that happens. And that's
It's
the sad
ridiculous.
thing is there's so many pharmaceuticals that people can't take. And I just love how I love that the education level that he's got on it so far. He was so cool, calm, and collected. Just like, come on,
I know.
personal responsibility.
No, he was like, he's like, listen,
Listen,
you know. No, really, he was like, listen, guys, let me educate you here. Like, I mean, he's just so nonchalant. Like, it just so.
it was
It
great.
was such a great interview. Like, he put like, I mean, I don't want to say he put him in his place, but I mean, he kind of did. Like,
He did. He
made
definitely
him look
did.
silly. He made him look
Gallo
really
is
silly.
always a very Gallo's always, he's quick with his questions. He's fast. He tries to catch you off your, he tries.
He does.
And
If you watch
Blackwell
him,
always does really good with him.
if you watch Gallo interview people, it's kind of mind-blowing the way that he goes about. He's very specific in the way that he does it, and I don't like it. I'll leave it at that. I'll be nice.
You know how whenever you see in a courthouse and then the judge is always like, stop leading the witness, because you're leading them into
Yeah.
questioning, and so you're trying to make them answer the question in a way that helps their
Narrative.
their narrative. That's it. I can't think of the word, but you know what I mean. Like he just like asks this question in a way that the answer is going to make him look bad, and so he in return corrected him and just he owned that interview. Both interviews, he owned them.
That interview was a slam dunk.
Seriously, I love
was
how
impressed
hyped
with
it is
that,
because
for
we're
real.
we're all hyped up. So this whole hype girl thing's like it's hard not to get
Yeah.
excited.
I know,
I'm glad
it's
today.
perfect. It's like,
We
yay!
need it this week. We need
Well, I
it
mean,
today.
that is not the conversation that he was having with Gallo 3 months ago. It
No.
wasn't. This is it's a different conversation. And all this work, it shows you all the work that all these people have put in, how wonderful, how amazing on both sides, the legislators, the people, everybody that has came to the table and talked and discussed things on these rooms and these boards across multiple organizations. I mean, wow, if any state was going to come together, no one would have thought it would have been Mississippi. Not like this.
Right.
Not like this.
Yep. Watch
So
us, baby.
let's sit back and let's let them show us. Like, we hope that this is how it's all turning out, and let's let them show us how they want to do right by their people.
Yeah.
Let them be a shining example to every other state's politicians. Like, be the champion for your people and show other people how to get it done.
Absolutely.
Yep.
I think there's some in our government in Mississippi that are ready for that. They're ready to be a forerunner for cannabis on a worldwide platform.
Let's. I mean, it started here in 1968, federal research. Like, let's keep that going.
Yes. Absolutely.
I do believe that some of these legislators that we have talked to have educated themselves past even the people in the federal government that have power over this. And I think their voices will become a voice of cannabis in some way, shape, or form. Their interviews will resonate with their coworkers. Absolutely. These people, these names we've been throwing out for 3 months: Blackwell, Delano, Yancey, Delano, I always say it wrong, sorry, bud. McMahon was in there, Blackwell, Delano, who else? Wiggins. Yancey. All of those that have came to the table and even took 5 minutes out of their day to let us know. Steve Hopkins. There was another one that came out today.
Michael McClendon has been great for me. He's up here in DeSoto County with me, so he's been super responsive and kind and just really, really receptive to every conversation I've ever had with him. So,
and there's some really good ones, I'm sure, that are talking to other people in their areas. I can only talk for the ones that I've talked to a bunch, and that I know Teresa spoke with on a number of occasions, and that you spoke with, Amy. I just know my little wheelhouse. So all you legislators that have been pushing for the good of the people, thank you.
Thank
and
you.
If we didn't give you a shout out, we didn't do it on purpose. There's a lot of you.
Yes.
If you have been supporting We Are the 74 cannabis in the state, and you are a legislator and you want us to give you a shout out, reach out to your hype girls and we will talk to you about it. So we would love to hear what you have to say to support it. And I mean, really and truly, it's incredible to behold. I'm in shock today. I really am.
Yeah. We've made it, girls. We've made it.
We're almost there.
We're almost there.
Yep.
Well, and everybody's hard work, we see it in real time now. And I mean, y'all, there's so many patients that we can have medicine for so soon. That is so huge. That is what we've been fighting for this whole time. And they could have their medicine in months, not years.
That's right.
We could have a special session in weeks, days. We could have a special session. We were talking about just hoping we would go into a special session before the regular session 3 months ago. We were like, well, let's just hope before a regular session starts that we get one.
Let's just hope sometime before January that this comes around.
And then
I'm calling it.
Everything they told us in the beginning. I'm September. I'm a September girl. We've been saying that for a little while, with good reason. I think that people, with the way that they were working and with the stuff that they were trying to do, they have a lot of other stuff going on, though. Obviously, is too. There's the income tax thing. That's taking up a lot of time.
The Medicaid and the tax
and COVID regulations.
Listen,
so they have their hands full.
Like, you think I live there? Like, I'm keeping up with y'all. So like, oh yeah, you guys have the Medicaid thing, and they're like, where am I? Where am I? You know what? My heart's just.
That's why you're over foreign affairs. You keep up with everybody, everything that's going on.
I'm going to be honest. I've looked into what I'm going to do next. Like, what causes am I? Because I'm always going to be working with cannabis, but what else can we do? Like, if we can change this, let's change it all. Like, let's.
Girls, if you guys
make it up
worldwide
I will push you to do something. I always have something to be done. Don't start occupying yourself. I've got the work. Just let me know.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, ladies.
I've
what do you think
always
about-
said I would never end with Mississippi. My next step is federal legalization and worldwide acceptance of cannabis on a normal scale. The drug war on cannabis should have never happened, and we have a lot of damage to reverse.
Yeah,
So the more
Dr.
people
Bed,
worldwide that we can
that's his
educate,
goal,
the better.
too. Get with Dr. Bed.
Huh?
That's his goal. That's Dr. Bed's goal. You'll be around him, I'm
Oh,
sure.
well then he is my spirit animal then, because we don't stop here. We don't stop at Mississippi.
No.
We don't stop with our government. We stop with worldwide relief from this plant, and we will revolutionize the environment by switching over to hemp plastics and biodegradable textiles and things like that.
Absolutely. It can change so many industries. It makes no sense to keep it the way it's been. It can fix so many things.
Exactly. Hemp plastics are incredible. And the one coffee shop that I helped investor open, we actually used all green paper products. Everything. We didn't have hard dishes. It's all things that are corn resin. So it was all corn plastic, all biodegradable within months. And it was extremely affordable compared to just regular plastic straws. And the quality was really good. And they still use those products today as we speak. And so that one company is changing the face of that. And I really feel like Mississippi can get into the hemp industry, industrial side of it, and really start revolutionizing that is on hemp construction even. I mean, there's so many things that we could do. Mississippi is ready. Mississippi farmers are ready.
Girl,
and they deserve
yes.
this chance.
Don't get me started on hemp, girl. We're gonna go into a whole other show.
Well, on
I
the
love you
next
to death, but I
show
gotta
of Hype
keep-
Girls,
listen.
we discuss industrial hemp, all its uses, and all those amazing, wonderful things that get us so excited about cannabis that you guys want to
Girl,
hear about it.
We
We want
can
to talk
talk
about it.
about so many things all day long. You guys know we can go all night. You know we can, but let's leave
Yep.
it on the note of the
But it's going to lead up
legislators.
to the next episode. All right,
Let's
check us
leave
out in
it
the
on
next
the note
episode.
of
We'll discuss
legislators.
those things.
And Bethany, why don't you fill in on what you think needs to be done? You know, I know we discussed about
yeah.
Governor Tate.
Yeah. There is going to be a campaign kind of launching, and we'll have some more details coming out about that tomorrow. You guys, we're going to do some, some things with hashtags and things like that. Get out some more patient stories. Swap over. Teresa made a good point when we were discussing something, that they've seen our anger, they've seen our frustration, and this is our last chance to show them the passion behind the anger before we go into special session. So whoever motivated you to vote for cannabis, what makes you believe that cannabis will help someone that you love? What drives your fight? We want to know what drives your fight. And so we'll be launching all that. We'll be launching the hashtags tomorrow. We are the 74. Always follow us. We'll have some updates and stuff going. I don't know, you guys. It's just going to be an incredible few days and an excellent couple of next weeks. I just can't even. I'm in shock, y'all. I just been on cloud nine since Blackwell's interview today. I just can't. I'm so freaking happy right now.
He did so good. I'm so like I said. I
So
feel
many
like
people tried to tell me he was such. I mean, just like, don't talk to him ever. Blah blah blah. And I'm like, he is all about figuring out about what cannabis is and what drives us. And like, wow, like he was the one person that was always like trying to learn and learn and learn and
He tried
learn.
to get it. He tried to understand it. He didn't understand it in the beginning. He tried to understand it. He gave it a chance. And you know what? Let's move on.
Yeah,
That's right.
and we're ready. Special session tape. We're gonna do it. It's time.
This is
let
why
the
we
legislators
fight.
look at this bill, and this is
Let
why
it
we
go.
fight. And yeah, it's gonna happen. This is huge. I'm so excited, you guys. But yeah, next week we'll do another Hype Girls. Sorry, you guys. Just if you did not know, our organizations, both organizations, Mississippi Cannabis News Network, We Are the 74, went through a lot. We lost a board member on the 74 last week. So we all took the week off to mourn our friend, and we love you guys, and we are back, and we are fighting for patients just like him every day. We love you guys, and we will be back next week with a new Hype Girls episode where we will have Heather back with us to discuss, I'm sure, all this wonderful news about the special session being called.
I hope so.
Yes.
Fingers crossed. Love you guys big. I'll talk to you guys soon. And yeah.
Thanks for joining
See
us.
you next time. Thank
Y'all
you
take
guys.
care.
You too.
All right,
Bye.
bye.
Bye.